So this is the 9th day of the 12 Days of Christmas, and today's freebie is the Tea Light pop-up card, and you've already seen a picture of it, and I made it into two different files. One of the files has a circle window, and then the other file has a square window, and I created both of those because the stamps that I wanted to use worked better in those shapes. There is another file that Bridget created, and hers has an oval, and I will put the link on my blog to her blog so that you can go over, and if you want to grab her file, you can. And I originally did see the idea on her blog. She got the idea from another tutorial that she watched, which was a Stampin' Up! Tutorial, and it was actually all done by hand. All the piecing was done by hand, and they used punches to punch the oval, the windows and everything. She felt it would be easier to make it into a cut file, so when I saw hers, I thought it would be her card originally on Facebook. I thought, oh, I could make that for 12 days, and I could do it with a circle window or a square window with one of the stamps from my Creative Time, which is what I've done. And then I ended up making it into, because I made it into an SVG file or a cutting file, I'm sharing it with you. So like I said, I have the circle and the square, and then Bridget, if you want the oval design, Bridget has the oval design over on her blog. You can go over there and get that one. But I'm going to just show you really quickly how to do this. This is the base of the card, and here's the score lines. This is the middle, and then this is the part that folds back, and I'll show you that when I show you how to put the card together. This is the entire front of the card. There's three layers, and then there's also a piece that you stamp, which let me grab that separately. There's a piece that you stamp. This is the piece that you stamp, so you would cut this piece out of a vellum, and then there's an overlay piece to that, and you would cut this out of another piece of paper. But when you're stamping, make sure that you have this on here too, so you know how much room you actually have to stamp. And then these three pieces here, see there's three pieces there, those are all the inlay pieces that go on the front, or the insert pieces that go on the front of the card. And let's see, and then the inside of the card is this piece right here. So this is the inside piece, and then these two pieces you would put on the inside of the card. You can put another sentiment, you can put a sentiment here on this piece if you want, and that helps make your card pop up. And then when it's popped up, you can put a tea light behind it, and the light shines through the vellum window. So it's really a fun card to put together and to give as a gift. So we're going to put one together here. I'm going to show you how to do it. Let me show you, the girls that use Silhouette Studio, how to open it in the Silhouette Studio. Oops, I don't need to change that, sorry. I go to my files, and I'm just going to open the square one, and it opens just like my file on my in Make the Cut. I'm sorry, in Make the Cut. So here's the base of your card with your score marks and your window, and then you have the three inset pieces for the outside. You have the overlay piece, and then the piece, hold on, let me grab the right one, the piece that you're going to cut out. Sorry, I know you can't really see that on the gray background. Hold on. Bear with me here for a minute. Okay, see, this piece will be cut out of your vellum paper, and this piece will be cut out of another paper, and that's going to be your overlay piece. And then all of this will will be put on here like this over your window. And then this piece is the inside piece, and these two smaller squares again are, you'll use a pop-up dot or something underneath those. Those are going to help keep the card standing up, and you can put your sentiment on this smaller piece. Okay, and all of these look like they're measuring. This is measuring the correct size. The size is an A2 standard card, which is a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 wide card. Okay, so I'm going to cut everything out, and then I'm going to show you how to put it all together. Okay, so I'm going to quickly show you how to put the card together. I already cut everything out. This is my base piece. This is the inside piece here with the sentiment piece and the backing to that. I did cut this differently. I cut it out, and then when I stamped my sentiment, it was smaller. So I just cut this down to 1 inch instead of, it was 1, I think, and 1/4 or 1 1/2. And then I cut this back red piece down so that I had the same border all the way around. And then this piece is my top piece right here, and all 3 pieces were cut out. This is the frame piece. Here's the piece that was put on vellum, the vellum piece. I already stamped it, and I stamped it with the bell here from the Our Family to Yours stamp set from my Creative Time. And my sentiment is from this stamp set, the All Around Christmas stamp set, and it's the Merry Christmas from that stamp set. So that was done on vellum. Then this is my little frame for that. That's going to go over the top of that. And then I have my 3 frame pieces. And I actually cut, this is a trick for you, if you want, I actually cut my frame piece out of the center of this piece because you're not going to see it anyway. So instead of wasting another piece of green paper or using another piece of green paper, I used the center because you're not going to see that anyway. That's going to be on the card, and that's going to be on top of that and that. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is put the base piece on the front of the card. And this paper was a little flimsy, so I stuck another piece of paper just on the back because I don't want it to fall over. And I know once I get all my layers on it, it will be okay, but I just got a little nervous. So I put another piece of paper, a white piece of paper, and I just hand cut the square out. So if your paper's a little flimsy, because it's going to be standing up, you might want to put a backing paper on it just to give it some support. So what you're going to do is you're not going to glue it completely down. You're only going to put your tape runner on the bottom part, because what's going to happen is this is going to flip up and stand, and if you put your tape runner or your glue here, it won't be able to do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on this so I don't forget while I'm putting it on. I'm going to run my tape runner on this. Okay, and then I'm going to very carefully line up my card with the edge. The top, this first top piece is the exact same size as your card, and it should line up perfectly the base of your card. Okay. Okay, so the next thing to do is do these next 2 layers, and again I'm going to use my tape runner, and these can have tape on all sides because they're attaching to the green piece. Looks good. Just like that. Okay, and now we're going to do our little window part, and I am going to use glue on this, and I'm going to need my tweezers. And now that's going to be glued. I put my glue away. That's going to be glued right on top right here. And then at this point, if you wanted, you can decorate it with some other ribbon or another piece of paper or whatever you want. I think I'm going to leave mine just because this is so busy with the words, and I like kind of like this design. I was going to put ribbon on there, but I think I like it like that. So I'm going to just leave it simple like this, and I'm going to do the inside now. Okay, so I'm going to put the sentiment on the inside, and I'm going to use a little bit of foam tape just to make it stand up so that it will hold the front part of the card back. Okay, I think right there is good. Okay, just like that. There's my card. I don't know if you can see the candle, but I used one of these little tea light candles, and I found them in bulk at our floral supply place, but you can get these at Michael's. I've seen them at Michael's and Joann's, and probably even Walmart. I haven't looked for them at Walmart, but they're just a little tea light candle that you can turn on. So there's my card. I love how it turned out. I think this is the cutest card. So I hope you'll try making one, and if you do, please tag me on Facebook or come to my blog and leave me a comment so I know where to find your card so I can see it. And that basically wraps up day 9 of 12 Days of Christmas. I hope you'll stop back by tomorrow for day 10. We have 3 days left. I can't believe we only have 3 days left. Anyway, so thanks so much for stopping by today. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you tomorrow.